This episode is brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Did you know Colorado is turning 150 years old this year? The Colorado Lottery is celebrating this big birthday with 3 new prize-packed scratch games. Play for your chance to win cash prizes ranging from $150 all the way up to $250,000. Every game from the Colorado Lottery directly gives back to Colorado's parks, trails, and open spaces. Must be 18 to play. Go to coloradolottery.com to learn more. That's coloradolottery.com. This episode is sponsored by the Common Spirit Denver Century Ride. The Common Spirit Denver Century Ride is Colorado's only urban-based ride for cyclists of all abilities. On Saturday, September 26th, cycle the city on fully supported 25, 50, 85, or 100-mile routes, or join the relaxed 11.7-mile Bike Streets Ice Cream Ride. Explore Denver's neighborhoods, parks, trails, and iconic landmarks before celebrating at the post-ride street party with live music, food, cold beer, and a lifestyle expo. Register now and save 10% on all longer distance courses at denvercenturyride.com. Welcome to CityCast Denver. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Today, I'm taking a walk down Colfax with Frank Locantore, Executive Director of the Colfax Avenue Business Improvement District, a sponsor of CityCast Denver, who is hosting our live podcast taping this Wednesday, July 22nd, as part of the Colfax Indie Bash in the parking lot behind Pete's Satire Lounge. But more on that later. Today, Frank gives us the lowdown on some big housing developments coming to the beloved Strip and shares his hopes and dreams for Colfax's future. Frank Locantore, welcome back to CityCast Denver.
Oh my God, so exciting. Thanks for having me.
We're here on your favorite street, my favorite street, Colfax Avenue. We're at Colfax and Race right now, right? Yeah, no,
Yes.
Yep. Walgreens. Old school folks will know the Aladdin Theater was once there. We're going to take a walk down Colfax, though. We have talked plenty about BRT. We'll probably touch on it a little bit, but there's so much more to talk about. So
That's
let's...
right. Can we start with the milkshake that I'm holding it right outside of Pete's Kitchen?
Tell us all about it.
One of the best chocolate milkshakes around here at Pete's Kitchen.
And I agree with you, Frank, because last time you ordered one, it looked so good that then I ordered one. But let's get started. Let's take a walk.
All right,
we're gonna head
west.
We're walking west from Pete's Kitchen, next door Pete's Satire. Probably two of the most famous places on this strip that have been functioning for a long time here.
That's
Pete's
right.
Parts of the Pete's Empire. But we're going to walk up to this building up here on Colfax and High, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So we're passing the Pete's Satire right now.
Okay.
Where
Beautiful building. Great neon.
Bob Dylan opened up for the Smothers Brothers way back when.
Great. It's just one of those. It's a Colfax classic. It's a dive bar classic.
Right.
It's great Mexican food. Great service.
That's right. Plates are hot.
Plates
and we're
are hot.
walking past one of the newest businesses on Colfax, Cafecito.
Oh, Cafecito.
Yes, it used to be a barber shop that
Okay.
closed, and then this took its place. And they serve great, little drinks and snacks, donuts, etc.
Can't go wrong with a coffee shop.
Not at all.
Okay.
And this building,
Okay. Yeah.
one of my favorite buildings. It'll be better to take a look at it from across the street. But as we wait to cross the street,
Okay.
we're looking at the building that we office in, known as like the Ready Temporary Services. That's where it's vacant now, but that's where temporary employment was there. And we're up on the second floor, but that its original use was as a Japanese savings and loan. So inside on the first floor, there's a vault, not with the door is long gone, but it's, concrete and force. So somebody just reminded me that next time we have a tornado warning, that's the place for us to take shelter in. Yeah.
So it was originally a bank.
Yeah.
I always wondered because it's got some beautiful little curves at the top. It's just a pretty 2-story, nice front-facing building right here on Colfax. And I never knew what it was for. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
and we held my colleague Danan right over here organized a underground Colfax art showcase to highlight the
we're gonna
all
sneak
the
past.
brand new art that will be put on display along Colfax on the outside of buildings over the next month or two.
Okay.
So now that we're on the north side of Colfax, we turn around and look at the building we were just in front of, which that would be the southeast corner of Colfax and High. And I always just like to point it out, and forgive me if I've pointed it out to you before, but it's just kind of like the perfect Colfax building that if those kinds of buildings had proliferated or maintained instead of being torn down, you can see you've got ground floor retail. There's actually space for 9 different businesses there. There's not 9 currently because H&R Block takes up like 3 of those spaces, and they're only here 3 months of the year.
Well, we got a dog wash.
Yes, Pampered Paws for your, showering and cleanliness of your dog, as well as other dog supplies, and Cafecito, like we just walked by, and Hush Vapor. And then a recently vacant convenience store that hopefully will get occupied soon. And then 2 floors of apartments above it, 30 units. I mean, just in those 3 floors, there's, 1 floor of retail and then 2 floors of 30 units of housing, which would be great to have that
all
building
along.
Replicated all over. Yep.
Yes, which I think you pointed out. There was probably a lot more of these before we hit some more car-centric, I would say, times of Colfax where we got gas stations and parking lots and whatnot.
As we continue walking west in the next block, we're going to pass what was the Family Dollar, and that will soon be an AutoZone, which is a odd choice in this climate of what to locate there.
Not our most. I get it. But again, we've got another big empty lot. I think there's still a lot of promise, I'm sure, as you imagine looking at this street. There's a lot going on, but there's still plenty that could be. There's a lot of future here. That's
right. And I'm actually glad, it might sound weird, but I'm glad that he pointed out this vacant lot that we're approaching here on the right, because it will come into play when at our termination at Washington and Colfax, because this lot is on the northeast corner of Williams and Colfax. Used to be a car wash.
I was going to say, I remember it most as a car wash. It's across from the Taco Bell and the Squire Lounge.
Right. And then for a short period of time, one of the property owner worked with a number of artists like Jolt,
yes,
and others to do all kinds of awesome murals on the remnants of the building that was standing at the time, but that has since been torn down.
Yes.
But I point this out because the size of this parcel is equivalent to the size of another parcel that we'll talk about at Washington and Colfax.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I've spent a lot of time at this Taco Bell as a young person. Open late. Sit in the parking lot, enjoy a taco after going out.
Those were the days.
Ooh, it's hot. Hot.
So here we're approaching the kind of wacky, dangerous 5-point intersection of Colfax, Franklin, and then this is where Park Avenue ends at Colfax.
So when we turn and we're looking north or south. I'm sorry, south.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Folks will know this spot. It was Fanny's Corner Floral for a long time. It was a giant building that was an addition to what was once a residential home. Right. I think that was a leftover from when Colfax had more single family home residentials when it was Grand Avenue, long time ago. But that building had been there forever because I used to live across the street from it.
Oh,
and
cool.
It was recently condemned, right? Do you want to tell a little bit of that story? We won't tell too much, but
sure.
The story of that building.
They were at one time they were beautiful homes, as you say. The kind of like silver boom created a lot of those beautiful homes on Colfax and throughout Denver. And then when hard times hit, they added these additions to the front that really made them look ugly, if we're honest. But they were a way for the building to survive and the people within the building to open up like a tailor or seamstress or a bread baker in front of their home and be able to make money that they lost in the silver bust after the boom. So that was a great example of one of those. And the current owners of this property had the intention of redeveloping it back into its former glory and then building housing on the parking lot behind it. But then people that were entering the house illegally ended up setting a fire, and it became damaged to the extent that it was irreparable. So they did get permission to be able to tear them down. Now, this lot size is similar in size to the Burger King just across the alley that you mentioned, which is similar in size to the car wash, the vacant lot of the car wash that we passed. And that size lot, or somewhere around 6,000 square feet, is just very difficult to build on because of that size and then all of the other requirements that are necessary in terms of the city.
Basically, there's not a lot of space on that lot, and if developers want to do something, a lot of times there's requirements around housing and such, and it has to also be something that's financially feasible. So those smaller lots are hard, is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
And now there's a bit of help because when parking was required, which has recently is no longer required, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to get built, because even though it's not required by city code, or it's been drastically, the amount of parking has been reduced, the banks still won't make it's difficult to get a loan from a bank because they just think
if there's no parking,
suburbanese.
Nobody will live there.
Right.
That is the constant conundrum. So this building this lot that we're looking at will become housing?
Yes.
Okay.
So the intention is that it's ground floor retail along Colfax with, they need new designs now because the buildings have, burned, but ground floor retail with housing above and behind it to the south where the parking lot is. Now, what would be ideal is, and they do have interest in assembling with the Burger King lot,
the adjoining abandoned
alley,
Burger King, yes,
which adds expense because of the alley and the challenges of vacating an alley and the underground utilities, but it could make the parcel potentially easier to develop in a way. However, we're in a really wacky economic climate, and getting financing is difficult.
Well, we're going to have a more like a happy story. There's a lot going on across the street from us. This is really stressful. I would be stressed for this. Let's keep walking because we're going to talk about another building down the way that I think is a success story of this.
Yes.
This episode is brought to you by the Breckenridge International Festival of Arts. This August, Breckenridge bends reality. The Breckenridge International Festival of Arts, BIFA, returns August 20th through the 23rd. 4 days of adventure, creativity, nature, and play across the Arts District in downtown Breckenridge. Catch free live music on 2 outdoor stages all Friday and Saturday, including a brand new bike-powered stage with psychedelic sounds, cosmic Americana, indie folk, and roots music. Then grab tickets to the headliners, an evening with Patagonia, keynote drag and dance party, and Beats Antiques' electrifying fusion of music, dance, and spectacle. Wander the Other Worlds exhibition, join Trail Mix in the Alpine Garden, or start your morning with Acoustic Flow. Want the full experience? Limited VIP passes unlock exclusive access and premium perks. Step into Other Worlds this year at BIFA 2026. Tickets and details at breckcreate.org. That's breckcreate.org.
So, and on our left, one of the reasons for the beeping, dump truck and construction vehicles is because we're right around one of the new BRT stations.
They're just finishing it up.
Yeah, and this arch here was the first one that was erected.
It's a podcast.
Hello.
It is a podcast.
I know what it is.
All right, there's fans of CityCast all over.
There you go.
So when steel structures like this arch are are moved into the upright position, the technical term is erection. And so when we
So you got some huge ones all the way down the street.
there are a lot of erections along Colfax, and the tight end bar loved hosting the BRT Arch Erection Party a few months ago.
I love that for them.
Yes.
All right.
They had it on their little sandwich chalkboard out front, and lots of people were stopping to take pictures of that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're actually right here at, what was the Irish Snug? Then it was, oh my goodness. I'm going to be...
Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse?
Yes.
And now it is Barna. Which is it a soccer bar? I saw a lot of World Cup action.
That's right.
Going down here.
So Robert, the owner, doesn't call it a soccer bar because he doesn't want it to be a limiting factor, because it is really cool in there. I mean, yes, Barna is short. It's kind of like the short nickname for Barcelona.
Aha.
So Barcelona is in the football club.
Okay.
But so I think it's Spanish soccer and tapas, right?
Okay.
But it's not just that. Like, it is such a great kid-friendly place in there.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, you should bring Montgomery.
I will.
Because I'd love to meet Montgomery. I think we would get along.
He also, for some reason, is down to hang out at bars. So
yeah.
That's where my husband takes our 5-year-old. But we're inside the Bourbon Square building, too, is right where we're standing in front of right now.
Right. So really,
real classic.
I don't know if you can say any one building is like the classic quintessential Colfax building, but this certainly would be one of the top ones, because the architecture is awesome. The history is great. Like, so
Sid
this
King's
block
Crazy Horse.
Sid King's Crazy Horse, exactly, a cabaret / burlesque / strip club. I don't know what the terminology would necessarily be, but then that changed, and it was the Irish Snug for 18 or 19 years.
So good.
Which was an awesome family place that people love to come to. And then for a short little bit, Crazy Horse, and now Barna.
And Barna, okay.
And this has gotten some good crowds and raves since it's been open for almost a month.
It looks beautiful.
About a month now. And so yeah, great place to watch the World Cup.
Love it.
Which has been
where are we getting
offices above.
Yes, I officed there for many years. Where are we gonna drink? Take us. Where are we going? Yeah, are we going inside somewhere?
Yeah. Do you want to up for like a Vietnamese condensed?
I'm open to whatever.
Yeah. Well, let's go in. So then we're going to go into Uptown Banh Mi, which is right next to Good Bones Coffee.
Yes.
And Uptown Banh Mi has a lot of tasty stuff, plus a nice, cool drink.
Okay. So we are at the corner of Marion and Colfax. What do you want to? Well, we're looking across the street. Are we going to talk about here, or are we talking about
here?
We're
going to talk about it all. Bree.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just walked out of Uptown Banh Mi, where you can get really tasty Vietnamese food, noodle bowls, banh mi, but we got cold drinks because it's so dang hot.
Got a white peach
today.
lemonade. It was
nice.
Nuts. So good.
So, and that's right on the corner, which is right next to Good Bones Coffee, which is right next to Barna, where the Irish Snug used to be. And then around the corner over here, where French for Sugar is where Sad Boy Creamery is going to be.
Shut up. You heard it here first. Just kidding. Probably people already know. We just know Sad Boy is very popular.
Right. We were keeping, Danon found out quite a while ago and learned that it was a secret. So every time we heard you mentioning Sad Boy, we were like, boy, I wish we could tell those guys.
The City Cast Best of Denver Awards.
Oh, you did?
That's when I found out.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, they are famous for their drops. People love them, and now they're going to have a location right off of beautiful Colfax.
All right in this
Marion.
one block where you don't even have to leave the building, basically. Then across from Sad Boy Creamery is Park Ave Tacos,
Yes.
So a Mexican place. And then here on the corner is a new place called Karen Gwyn, which you would never know by the way that it's spelled, but the way that it's pronounced is Karen Gwyn. So it's a mead hall.
Okay.
So you really got to go in there and just see how they did the inside and this you almost feel like you're coming out of the Beowulf story. If that means anything to people. And all of this is across Colfax from the new Vixen apartment buildings.
Yes.
And then next to the Vixen is where the Smiley's Laundromat was, and I know
Rest
that's a heartbreaking.
Peace. That's a hard place for me to be.
Bree.
Yep.
That's going to be another 200 plus units of housing. So with some of this development that we've been talking about over the next few years, we're going to have close to 1,000 new residents on Colfax.
That's amazing.
Which is going to be perfect for the bus rapid transit and all
Goes
of the
right
businesses.
past. Yes, and
Right.
the Vixen, folks will know prior was the Ramada, a lot of bands stayed there, but now it's housing, and it looks like, will retail go in?
Yes, they've
Retail will
got
go in.
Doppio Coffee, which is around
Oh.
the corner, is going to move into the
they're
Vixen.
moving over there. Doppio's
and
great.
then they're looking for more like a restaurant or
Sure.
so to put in there.
So this is one of those developments that was an older building, maybe not as much use anymore as a hotel. So a lot of parking, and now it's apartments and new businesses.
Over 300, units.
New units. That's
Mhm.
great. Okay, let's
Okay, continuing to walk. All right, now we're coming to Downing in Colfax, and we're on the north side of the street. And this is what I, just kind of cheekily call the little East Berlin
Okay.
of Colfax. And
Tell us why you call it that, Frank.
because it's just, look, we're looking at we're looking through a wrought iron gate at U.S. Postal Service, federal USPS Postal Service vans with a building in the distance. And it is, I'm not going to say it's uncomfortable, but it's not the most
not the
nice.
pedestrian friendly.
It's not
Not for
pedestrian.
people.
It's right. And what it used to be was a strip mall, right? So it was just like, I don't know what it was. Probably, a laundromat, a Chinese restaurant and
Sure.
something. And at that time, it was like, boy, it would be great if we could activate this more, maybe bring it to the front. And so there were efforts to make the pitch of what could be here that is not that
Not a
strip
parking
mall,
lot.
not a parking lot, et cetera. And so the lesson here is sometimes you need to be careful about what you wish for, because instead of getting, a more vibrant street front type of structure, we've got a private parking lot fenced off by something that you think is a fortress that you don't want anybody in.
Yes.
And it adds really nothing to the area.
Well, especially because there's a lot, we're between there. I mean, there's bars along this strip. There's coffee shops. We're going to come up across the Ogden. People are walking up and down here all the time.
Right.
So.
Right. And this, for the most part, there's nothing in this block that they would go to. Because right next to it is actually one of the only single-family residences on Colfax.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
This building?
Yep.
I've always wondered what this building is. It's just it's like a 3-story on the front building that has an awning, but I've never seen anyone go in or out of it.
No, the front door is not accessible.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For reasons you could probably
Yeah.
imagine. But it's, I think you get a better view of it from the alley side. Because this
Wow.
is one of those old buildings.
Yeah.
So like in the front, this used to be kind of like your front porch.
Sure.
Right, where you would step on in.
Okay. We made it.
So our backs are to the wall of Romantics.
Yes.
And I think it ends in an X.
Yep, bless you.
Yes, bless you. And
I mean, what is Colfax without a store like Romantics, honestly?
There's a lot
You
of
know?
romance on Colfax. We were talking
Truly.
about all the erections earlier.
That's
so,
true, and then you can go to Romantics.
and then you go to
with an X.
Romantics.
But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about this other building, which is at the corner of Washington and Colfax, that you may notice because in the last few years, there's a mural that's been painted on the front of folks crossing the street. But before that, I'll be honest with you, I've always going to shows over here forever. I never knew what this was. It's just a weird building.
I was actually going to ask you. So the kind of colloquial name for this building, which is vacant, is called the pharmacy.
Okay.
And it's called the pharmacy because back in the day, this was pretty proximate to the hospitals that
Sure.
were just north of here. And so my understanding, there was a lot of like doctor's offices and a pharmacy and things like that. So it was called so that's why it's called the pharmacy building. However, it hasn't been used for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And back in 2008, in preparation for the Democratic National Convention, they used the inside to do exercises around security for the DNC. And so they set off, different shock bombs or whatever you do, which loosened the asbestos, which made it, unusable. I think they've since cleaned out the asbestos.
Okay.
But I'm not positive about that. But anyway, the real point being is that it's vacant, and it's just... And this was one of the other reasons why I was kind of referring a little bit to Little Berlin, because there was one time when I was on the 15, I must have dozed off for a second. I opened my eyes. I saw the blank wall of this pharmacy building. I'm like, where am I? I was like, am I in Lakewood?
And then you came to the most unassuming building on Colfax, which is just weird to me. It's like 2 stories-ish, 3 stories maybe?
Yeah.
And then it has a weird courtyard on the front.
Yeah, that's completely walled off, that you can't access at all, right? And this is sitting on this is the southeast corner of Washington and Colfax, directly across from Sliceworks. And then behind it, or to the north,
is your favorite thing,
where the District 6 police station is.
And a giant empty parking lot, I should say, is what I was referring to. But yes, okay,
and
so the police department's right behind it.
Right.
So
now,
do they own this whole thing?
The city.
The city does.
The city owns the property. So for the most part, there's the corner that we walk by where the One Up and Romantics is, that's privately owned. But for the most part, the rest of the block is city-owned parcel.
Okay.
So now the police are in an old building, I think that was built in the 60s. It's for the most part a glorified haunted house. They desperately need a new police station, which is why the community and the business improvement district supported their effort in the 2017 GO bond to access some money to rebuild the police station, whether it's here or someplace else. And they got that money, but it's not enough, so needed to cobble together some more money. That money has been cobbled together, and so now there is a design and an effort to tear down the existing building, build a new police station, which will be, greatly appreciated, along with other facilities that the police need in order to, run their operations. And the rest of it, the rest of the design is for a surface parking lot here on the Washington Street side, and then a 2-floor parking garage on the Clarkson side that spans the entirety of the city-owned land. Wow. So no housing, at a time when we're in a housing crisis, no housing has been planned for this. Recently... And
I do just want to be clear for listeners, you have been an advocate for housing on this particular property. You've been actively advocating for that, so folks know.
That's right.
Through the Business Improvement District.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I've been in this position for a little over 11 years. The effort by the Business Improvement District to help the city redevelop this land to fit serve community needs has preceded me by years. And so I got involved right away, early on, and we're in the midst of having conversations with the city. Then they got the GO bond money, and then it was like, okay, what are we going to do? And I was waiting for a phone call to bring the community into the process, a phone call that never came. And then as part of the designing, in order for them to build and get all of the permits that they needed, they were requesting 10 variances, which is basically another way of saying that we've designed this in a way that it does not meet the current codes, this current city codes. And so we're just asking for an exception or an exemption.
And this was for the design of the future police department that would go on the backside of where we're standing now.
Right.
And they asked for quite a few exceptions to the rules for this lot, is what you're saying.
Right. And by and large, I don't know if we would have taken exception to all of the variances, but for the fact that what the remaining parcel would be, they would tear down this building, this pharmacy building that the mural, where the mural is, and so we would have a vacant lot here until a developer decided that they could build on the property.
Okay.
And that's why I was pointing out those vacant parcels earlier. The ones that we passed earlier were very similar in size, maybe a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit larger than the parcel that this building would leave when vacant. And the reason that those other parcels that we passed earlier are vacant, despite the fact they have property owners and a development team ready to go, is that the financing is so difficult right now. And it's so difficult to get low-income housing tax credits or a LIHTC.
The things that builders would need to build affordable housing.
To build affordable housing. They're so very difficult. One of those parcels has tried a couple of times and has been denied. So when the city responds to our request for housing and says, we're going to demolish this building to make it easier to develop, well, in a way, yes, they've reduced the vertical structure to make it easy to develop, but that's only a piece of it. You still need the funding, and the funding isn't there. You still need the space in order for it to pencil out so that a developer isn't going to go broke in developing, the project. And considering that you've got 2.5 acres of city space, couldn't we carve out a little bit? This was our point.
This is your plan. This is your desire.
Can you just, instead of making it a 2-story parking garage, make it a 3 or 4-story parking garage? Instead of it taking up the entirety of Clarkson, turn it 90 degrees so that it just takes up a portion of Clarkson. And then with this pharmacy building lot and with a little extra space going north behind it, you would then have the ability that developers would go, they would take a second look at that.
Okay.
And they would go, I could get over 200 units of housing on that parcel rather than 50 or 60 if we just had the pharmacy building lot.
So you have a lot of dreams for this lot, Frank.
I mean,
I'm with you. I just want to identify what you're going through because I feel this way about a lot of places in Denver where I see something and I go, if only this was able to become housing, I see where the problem is. There's a random vacant building there. Or you're just saying there could be so much more that could happen than just the police station.
Right. And I'm reading from the city's playbook. The city has adopted plans where they want to prioritize housing and affordable housing.
Yes.
And they want to prioritize vibrant streets and things that will support businesses. Well, the things that will support businesses are more people living in close proximity to Chiba Hut,
sure,
to Slice Works, to Champagne Tiger.
Sure.
That is going to support the businesses. What's going to support greater feelings of safety is more people hanging out with you on the sidewalks and in the streets. And you get that by having more housing and more places to go. And by not taking the opportunity to build more housing, you're jeopardizing the kind of goals that the city has set for itself on this. And
so where are we now? We have this building is still here, but there are still plans. There's still money to build the police station. They have submitted plans. The plans did not go through those adjustments, right? Where do you know where things are right now with this particular corner?
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, this is what I can say is that they submitted 10 variances to the Board of Adjustments. That hearing lasted for nearly 4 hours yesterday, and 8 of the 10 variances were denied. So that means something different has to happen. And what that different thing is basically they need to do a different design that is at least closer to fulfilling the code requirements. And how much that requires them going back to the drawing board is a little unclear to me, and what those next steps are. Hopefully, one of the results of this is that we will be invited to the table, because some of the reasoning behind the Board of Adjustments denial was that it not only did it not meet the the various criteria that they have, but a number were concerned that the community wasn't
involved in the conversation. There could be more. So Frank's big dreams. I know you have a lot of big dreams for a lot of vacant lots, Frank.
Yes, every vacant lot is a new novel to be written. Yes.
It's an opportunity. Well, we'll be following that story, and I know that you will be sending us information as it goes on. My hope, too, for the best is we always want to see more cool stuff on Colfax. Frank, this has been a lovely tour. I look forward to it every year. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Bree and Olivia. It's been great, as always, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, it'll technically be this week. We'll see you this week at the Colfax Indie Bash.
That's right.
Details in the show notes. Okay, thank you, Frank.
Thanks.
And hey, come hang out with us at the Colfax Indie Bash this Wednesday, July 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to be recording a live show. It's us, the team at CityCast Denver, going head-to-head with our friends at Denverite in a battle of Colfax knowledge, hosted by Westward Editor Emeritus Patty Calhoun. It's free, but you've got to RSVP. See the link in the show notes, and we'll see you there. Oh, one more thing. We're doing a listener survey. We want to know what you want from us and this show. We want to learn more about you, our audience, so we can serve you and this city even better. Take the survey now at citycast.fm/survey. It only takes about 7 minutes. I promise. We timed it. That's citycast.fm/survey. And if you fill it out, you'll be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and some cool CityCast Denver swag. Again, citycast.fm/survey. Thank you so much. That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why don't you take a minute to tell your favorite character on Colfax about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe to our morning newsletter at denver.citycast.fm. And hey, thanks to our new neighbor, Brenton M., who just joined our membership program. You can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Denver neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later.